Okay, this is another something that the Lord just said to me now. So the Lord was telling me about how yesterday, how he gave me the reference of when he needs a dirty job, like a negative, wicked, toxic, like we talk about high vibrational energies and low vibrational energies, right? So when the Lord needs low vibrational things to occur, whether it's spiritually or physically, with you as a person or with somebody else or in the world, he has to whistle for the devil to come. And the Lord was showing me the whistle is like that, where it's what you do when you call a dog. Okay, when you call a dog, you're calling your dog, you'd be like that. This is how the Lord was showing it to me, is that like this is how he whistles the devil, puts his fingers in his mouth and whistles, hey devil, come here. Okay, because when Satan was in the heavens with the Lord wanted everything to be good in the heavens, okay? All of his angels to be good, the heavens to be good. Just like he wanted the Garden of Eden to be good and Adam and Eve to be good, right? But because the devil decided to rebel and go against God, just that action in and of itself, because the Bible talks about the angels, the holy angels, they're constantly 24/7 saying, holy, 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 holy to the Lord. They're constantly 24/7 praising the Lord, okay? So this means that to be in the Lord's good books, you would have to be that type of an angel where you're just submitting and bowing and just giving him glory 24/7. So just the slightest not doing that is a slight to the Lord, okay? Especially when you're in heaven. It's one thing on earth, but totally different when you're in heaven. So when Satan basically said who God created, Satan was supposed to sit and worship the Lord and say, holy, 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 and worship and bow down to him like all the other angels are supposed to. When Satan said, no, I'm not going to do this, that just, even that little bit of a rebuke was enough for God to say, get out, and kicked him out. Because in order to be in the heavens and to be a holy angel, you need to do that. That is your duty, is to say holy, holy, holy to the Lord and praise and glorify him 24/7, okay? So just even the one little rebel that Satan had was enough for the Lord to say, get out, okay? So now the Lord is strategic. He doesn't waste anything. So even Satan doing that, it wasn't like just like, get out, I'm done, that's it, and we carry on just with our worship. The Lord's like, you know what, devil, I'm going to use you because I want to show you that even though you rebelled against me and I kicked you out of heaven, you still work for me. No matter where you go, if you're in the pit of hell, the heaven with me, or on the earth, you work for me. I am the sovereign Lord. You are like a dog that I call. It doesn't matter if you're sitting glorifying me like the holy angels, like you're supposed to, or if you're trying to do your own thing, you will still bow down to my every command. And Satan cannot go against God. It literally impossible, okay? It's like God telling the sun to shine and the sun saying, no, I don't feel like it today. The sun has to shine when God whistles, okay? So this is the thing, is that when there's dirty work spiritually or physically in a person or on the earth that needs to be done, because the earth is not heaven. It is not perfect and glorious and majestic like heaven is, okay? Earth is the realm between heaven and hell. So heaven above us, hell below us. We're the in-between, okay? So we're not fully evil like hell, and we're not fully sanctified like heaven. We're the in-between, right? And so that's why the Lord won't get his hands dirty with dirty things. And because the Lord is too high vibrational. He's literally up in the sky in the heavens, ruling everything down here. So when it comes to fear, when it comes to sorrow, grief, misery, sadness, jealousy, envy, things like this, the Lord can't do this stuff. It is literally impossible. Like I mentioned yesterday, it'd be like rain being dry, or the moon coming out during the day. You know what I mean? It's not possible. There's always that duality, okay? Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden was the perfect on earth. It was like basically heaven on earth. And Adam and Eve were supposed to be perfect like the angels personified on earth from heaven, if that makes sense. But because Eve bit that rotten fruit, and the fruit was bad, the fruit was envy, the fruit was sorrow, hallelujah. The Lord is saying not only was the apple tempting, and it was the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge and the tree of good and evil, it literally, when Eve bit that, she was taking in all the low vibrational stuff. So if she hadn't ate that, she would have stayed in love and happiness and peace and glory, like these high vibrational things. That is what was intended for the earth and for her and for Adam, okay? But when she ate that apple, not only did she go against God, why it was so upsetting to the Lord and why he had to kick them out is because without her knowledge of realizing it, she took in not just sin, but took in envy, bitterness, hatred, misery, things like sorrow, grief, all these low-level vibrational things. She took that in. So then she was the only one that was in that corrupt position. But then because she took that in, she was then in a position now, because she has low vibration in her, she's going to seduce, she's going to tempt, she's going to manipulate, she's going to guilt, do all these low-level things to Adam to get him to eat this apple, which is exactly what he did. So then when he took it in, because they were both pure, now Adam's pure and Eve is impure. Now Adam's took the bite and fell for the bait like Eve did. Now he too is impure. Now they're both impure and dirty. They both have to get kicked out, okay? And their dirtiness ultimately not just dirtied them, but dirtied humankind forever. This is why when they had children, had Cain and Abel, Cain was dirty, like I've talked about, okay? They also polluted and dirtied the Garden of Eden. This is why the Lord had to kick them out and shut it down, and then we became the earth as we know it, a dimension between heaven above and hell below, right? So in some cases, this kingdom spouse's counterfeit is a child of the devil, okay? The Bible talks about the children of Satan. And so the Lord has his good children, his Abels on the earth, mixed in with his other children, but he doesn't consider them his children as much because they're the devil's children, because they're Cain's. So I hope we're understanding. There's Adam and Eve that were both full of sin, had Cain on one hand, Abel on the other. Abel was good, Cain was not. There's some children we're adults, but you know what I'm saying, children of Satan on planet Earth that are Cain's, and then there's some that are on planet Earth that are Abel's. And just like how Cain and Abel were working the field together, the children of God and the children of Satan work the field together, aka the earth. We coexist together working the fields, the earth, all right? But Cain is being ruled by Daddy Satan, and Abel and God's children are being ruled by Daddy God. Basically, how God sees it is, you either worship him in heaven or on earth, right? And so right now, the angels are in heaven going, holy, 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 glorifying him. And this is what Satan was supposed to do, but just that little slight of rebel was enough to get him out, kicked out. Just like Adam and Eve's, just one bite of an apple was enough to get them kicked out of the Garden of Eden, okay? That action of Satan tainted the earth, and then Adam and Eve's actions tainted the earth further and tainted the bloodline of humankind. But it's not all doom and gloom. God still has his chosen ones, myself and you chosen one, his children on the earth who we glorify him, right? Every day I'm praying to the Lord. Every day I'm praying to God. Every day when he blesses me, I thank him. You know what I mean? No little thing goes out from under my nose. I thank him for my home. I thank him for my food. I thank him for my children. I thank him for my air. You know what I'm saying? If someone around me is sick and I don't get sick, I thank him for that. And so I am not an angel in heaven glorifying him, holy, 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 but I am down here on earth glorifying and paying him his due and saying holy, holy to him in my human way, right? So this is the thing. Every knee must bow and every tongue must confess. So if you are in heaven, in order to stay in heaven and be in that higher vibration, your tongue must be confessing holy, holy, and glorifying the Lord, and your knee must be bowing 24/7. If you choose not to do that as an angel, you get kicked out and removed, even if it's just the slightest bit of rebel, one bite of the apple, because the Lord doesn't have time for that. That is how good and amazing and majestic he is. When you're on the earth, you have the choice to glorify the God in heaven or follow your dad Satan down below. And if you don't glorify the Lord, then the Lord looks at you as no different than Satan. So even if you don't believe in Satan and you're like, I'm not a child of Satan, are you glorifying the Lord every day? Are you giving him holy holies and thank yous and everything? Are you glorifying him and paying honor and homage to him? Oh, you're not? Okay, then you're a child of the devil. It's literally that black or white for God, okay? So in order to be on God's good side and be considered someone that's worthy of heaven or worthy to be in heaven, you either need to be one of these angels that are already ascended up there saying, holy, 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 knees bowing, tongues confessing, or if you're not there because you're a human vessel on earth, you need to be also doing that. And if you do that in your own way, saying thank you to the Lord, glorifying him, praising him, you will be saved just like those angels were. You are fit for the kingdom of heaven, okay? And the kingdom of heaven will be visited upon you on earth. This is how people see you, child of God, and they see you blessed, okay? They see you healthy. They see your children healthy. They see you with a roof over your head despite the circumstances. They see you smiling and at peace despite whatever goes on in the world. You know what I'm saying? That is because that is God shining and casting his light down on you like he did on Abel from heaven down on earth, because of the fact that you are showing him his glory and honoring him just like the angels do. But if you stop, you cease honoring and glorifying him, or you start to turn against him, it only takes one slight. It doesn't take, you don't get 150 chances. It takes one slight, one bite of the apple, the bad seed, so to speak, to have him turn you away, like he did with Satan, like he did with Adam and Eve, like he did with Cain, okay? And so this is literally the fine line that separates the children of God and the children of the devil. So in some cases, I just put out the last word, this little light of mine, I was talking about how in some cases this counterfeit is to be saved as well, because they're just like the spouse where they're trying to be Jonah and rebel, okay? But in other cases, this counterfeit of this kingdom spouse is legitimately a child of the devil, okay? You're a chosen one, and so is this spouse. You've reached the pinnacle faster because you gave an obedient yes. You're an Abel, okay? But this spouse is also like you, but they've hummed and hawed and dragged their heels, and they've rebelled like Jonah did. Okay, you were Lot and Noah listening, moving forward obediently. They were Jonah that tried to run their own race, okay? But the Lord hasn't spat them out completely. He's put them in a whale and is now that's over, has them on their way to glory like you. But the only way that they're going to reach this glorified position on earth or receive a spot in heaven is if they say, glory, glory, holy, holy, hallelujah to the Lord, okay? If they are not on earth confessing and giving the Lord his praise and honor, then the Lord considers them to be likened to a Cain versus an Abel, okay? And then they run the risk of perishing on earth and going to hell. And while they're on earth, they're going to receive a poor portion, a terrible portion, just like how Adam and Eve received when they slighted the Lord by eating the bite of the bad apple. Okay, I hope this is making sense, because this is what the Lord was saying to me. So he was saying that he whistles for Satan like you whistle for a dog, that even though Satan rebelled, people give Satan too much honor on the earth, and they liken him, he is not powerful at all. Zero. This is why the Bible constantly talks about he's a deceiver, he's a liar, he's the father of lies and stuff like this, is because he tries to make humans believe that he is more powerful than he is, that he has more glory than he deserves. In reality, even though he slighted the Lord and got kicked out of heaven, we picture it that there's the devil and God battling each other, going at it. And I mean, sometimes it can seem like that spiritually. But the Lord is saying to me, don't get it messed up, don't get it twisted. I am sovereign. This is why the Bible says over and over and over and over and over again, I the sovereign Lord, I the sovereign Lord. The Lord mentions he's sovereign because he is reminding you of his authority, okay? That he even holds authority over the devil, the demons, the children of Satan, all of it. He rules the heaven, the earth, and the hell, okay? He rules all of it. The top, the bottom, and everything in between, on either side, all around, all of it. Every person, every entity, every angel, everything, okay? So when the Lord needs to do dirty work, is what the Lord just keeps referencing it to, is dirty work. It is beneath the Lord. It is a low vibration sent from hell. He cannot touch that himself. He is too glorified to do so. It'd be like I said, trying to make water or rain dry. It's not possible. Water and rain is wet. You know what I'm saying? And so what the Lord will do to maintain his glorified, majestic position, his high vibration, is he and whistles for the devil, and that the devil runs up like a dog, okay? And that God tells the devil what to do. Go and make this happen. Go and do this. Some of these things are physical things, as in crimes. Some of these things are spiritual things, as in crimes, okay? Go do this. It is the Lord's authority overall, because he's sovereign, that dictates what happens. But he sends the devil to do the dirty work for him, because the devil is from the pit of hell. He's been cast down there from the heavens when he rebelled against the Lord. And so the devil is actually beneath humans, to be perfectly honest, because picture it. This is how the Lord's showing me. There's the heaven above us and above the clouds. There's the earth right now that we stand on. And below us, below my feet, is the pit of hell. This is why the Bible says, trample on the enemy like the snake and scorpion that they are. Because they're literally that low. Scorpions and snakes are under my feet. If I'm walking, I can step on a snake or a scorpion and crush them. Same with spiders. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're not birds. That's why they don't stand upright like humans or cows or dogs or horses. Because they are so low that they are low to the ground. Snakes literally slither on the ground. They are one of the closest species to hell. This is why people don't like snakes, is because they spiritually innately know that the snake is a demon, that they're correlated to hell, hence why they're slithering right on the ground beneath my feet, okay? So Satan is so low on the pole that he is below our feet. That is how deep and low the pit of hell is, okay? So even a human has more authority than the devil. And the thing is, a human gets to choose. You get to choose if you're going to go down to the hell pit below you or up to the heaven above you. While you're alive, you get to make this choice. But the only way you're going to make it to the heaven above you is if you're saying on earth in your human vessel, holy, 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 glorifying the Lord in your own human way. You're of course not an angel, but you have to give the Lord his praise and glory. Every knee must bow, every tongue must confess. So your tongue must be confessing to the Lord that he's holy. Your knee must be bowing to him in order to receive favor on earth from heaven, in order to ascend to heaven when you're gone. If you don't sign up to do these things, the Lord will spit you out, okay, because you're lukewarm, and kick you out just like he did with Adam and Eve and the devil. And then if you don't get right with the Lord and you pass, you're going down to the pit where the devil is. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Now, that's the part he wanted to show me on one hand, but then on the other hand, he correlated it because he piggybacked it onto the last message I put out in regards to the kingdom spouse. I'm going to post this one right after it. So if you check that one out, please check this one out. And if you check this one out, please check that one out. The Lord is saying that in some cases, this counterfeit is a donkey's ass, and they're always going to be a donkey's ass, and they're meant to be a donkey's ass. They came in as a counterfeit. They're still a counterfeit today as I speak. They'll be a counterfeit tomorrow, and they're going to come out of this as a counterfeit. Why? Because they were never meant to ascend. They were meant to be a wedge in, the Bible talks about it, about the thorn in the side, right? This counterfeit has been a thorn in the side for you and this kingdom spouse. That was their duty. God whistled for the devil to come and send one of his little children, his agents that are doomed for the pit of hell, to come and do this dirty work, okay? Because the Lord doesn't want to dirty the situation. He's too majestic. Dirty you, his child, because you're chosen, and so is the spouse. You're just further ahead than the spouse is, but the Lord knows what the future holds. So he sends in the devil, who calls in. So God whistles for the devil, then the devil whistles for this child, okay? This child comes. So ultimately, this child is doing the work of the Lord. Even if they don't believe in God, even if they hate God, it doesn't matter. That's all well and good. You know, we know what happened with Cain and Abel. This counterfeit, aka child of God, is working for God, whether they realize it or not. They can give praise to the devil all day. They can do his work. They can summon him, whatever they like to do. But the devil has to sit on his hands until God whistles. Because technically the devil that this counterfeit is trying to praise and salute is actually below them. Oh my gosh. Okay? Technically, this counterfeit and all devil worshippers are actually in more authority than the very devil/demons that they're calling upon. They technically are in a more powerful position with more authority than those devils and demons are. I hope this is making sense. Okay? But they think that they have more power over them and can do something, make something shake. The Lord allows the illusion of appearing that something has happened, but even that appearance of something happening in and of itself came from God himself. They don't believe that because they're like, well, why would God make ABC happen? Because I don't care about God. I actually hate God and he hates me and I love the devil. So therefore, ABC has happened for me. I've gotten my demonic wish. So the devil must be coming through for me. Oh, salute to you, devil. And God is saying, actually, no, the devil can't do anything. He's actually so low on the authority scale that he's actually below you. You actually have more power and authority than these devils and demons do. You wouldn't know that though because you're not checking into it, but you technically do. And when you see ABC happen, it actually comes from me. And the reason why I'm doing it is because I want to show you that even I whistle and the devil comes. The devil whistles and you come. Okay? But at the end of the day, the head command, the chief command that brought you to the table was from me. I'm the one that whistled for the devil who whistled for you. So even though you think the devil called you, summoned you, and here I am, devil, it was actually God that called the devil to call you. You understand? So these people are giving the manager all the props and everything and ignoring the CEO. When actuality and truth, these human vessels actually have more authority than the manager does. But the Lord is saying in some cases, okay, so some of these ones that are Cains, okay, that are truly children of the devil, children of Satan, they don't have any authority. And they know it because they are equal to the devil. If that makes sense. You lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. I didn't have fleas, but I laid down with a dog who had fleas. Now the dog has fleas and so do I. All right. So the same thing happens is that these children of the devil, most of them do have authority to choose. And unfortunately, we perish this world and go to hell without realizing the authority that was God given to us that we truly had on earth. Okay. Those that are chosen are specially selected to be able to receive this and interpret this properly so that they're able to make the proper choice of following the Lord and therefore becoming ascended on earth and ascended to heaven. But for some of these ones, unfortunately for them, their bed is made and it is in the pit because they laid down with a dog, the devil, and woke up with the devil's fleas. So the devil had fleas, they didn't, but now they do because they laid down with him. So the Lord has turned his back on them just like he has the devil because he considers what they have done to be enough of a slight to not only get them kicked out of the heaven on earth option, but the heaven in the heaven option. And they're unfortunately doomed for the pit, just like the devil is, because that's all it takes. Okay? So this whole time, you have been a chosen child of God who, if you pass away and go to heaven, you're going to be up there with the other angels going, holy, 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 and you're going to be glorifying the Lord. But while you're still on earth, you've discovered your authority, you are a child of God, and because of that, on earth, you're praising the Lord in your human way. Of course, you're not as perfect and ascended in high vibration as an angel is, but considering you have hell below your feet every day when you're walking around, you're as close as you can get. This is why our feet touch hell and our head touches heaven. Okay, you understand? This is why humans are upright, is because our top part leads towards God and our bottom part leads towards hell. And so we're constantly being reminded through our human vessel of the choice that we can make every day. Am I going to pass tomorrow and go to heaven, or am I going to pass tomorrow and go to hell? The choice is ultimately mine. No devil has authority over me to decide what I'm going to do, because all I have to do on my time on earth is thank the Lord for what he's given me. Say, holy, holy, holy in my human way. Give him my human earthly praise. And that is enough for the Lord to bless me and give me heaven on earth, and also receive me in the heaven of heaven when my time comes. Right? And so because I know that, this is why these children of Satan cannot bring me down or get me down. And this is the same for you, child of God, if this is resonating, okay? But unfortunately for these ones, they are doomed to the pit, including some of these counterfeits. And they were led in intentionally not to be with this kingdom spouse, even if they thought that that was the ultimate end goal. Not to bring you down, child of God, even if they thought that was the ultimate end goal. Their duty and mission was literally to come in and cause chaos. And that's exactly what they did. You're performing your higher vibrational tasks. They performed their lower vibrational tasks. They were supposed to bring in. You're a high vibrational ascended child of God, chosen one, right? So just like God, you are not going to touch things like misery, sorrow, jealousy, envy, bitterness, grief. You know what I mean? You're not going to touch these low vibrational things. And even if sometimes they rub shoulders with you because you're still human, you're not ascended above it in the heavens yet, you're still on the earth with hell below your feet, you refuse to dirty your hands with that stuff. And even if you fall into the pit, sometimes the Lord comes and cleans you up and gets you out of there, okay? Because you're too clean. The Lord is showing me white, okay? The angels are white. The Lord is white. You are white. Even if it's just light. Light is white, right? It's not black. So you are white. You're wearing a white robe or a white dress. When you're wearing a white dress, you stay away from mud puddles, okay? You're like, I could slip and fall in that mud puddle, but I'm going to do everything I can to not trip and fall in that mud or that dirt because I'm wearing a white dress or a white suit, right? This is how the Lord sees it. He is constantly in a white suit or a white dress. Like, his angels are in white. You know what I'm trying to say? We're in white, okay? The Lord, the angels and his children are all in white because the Bible talks about this. He washes out your sins of crimson and you become white as snow, right? Scarlet and crimson to white as snow. So when you become a child of God, when you are born again believer on earth or in heaven, you are clothed in white, spiritually, proverbially, all right? So therefore you are going to avoid dirt, even if it's spiritual dirt, spiritual mud. Just like in the physical world, the real world, if you're wearing a white shoes or white shirt or white dress, you're not going to go get dirty, right? Now, someone can come and throw a mud pie at you and you'll get dirty, right? But if that happens, you just go and put stain remover on it and dry clean it or wash it and get it out, right? There might be a little residue, but it's mostly gone. This is what the Lord will do spiritually, supernaturally. He will cleanse that mud out of you for you. So we're constantly being made clean, being baptized. Hallelujah. This is what baptism does, spiritually and physically, is it makes you clean, okay? So the Lord is continuously spiritually baptizing and cleansing his children, whether they fell in the mud themselves or someone threw mud at them. Either way, the Lord is cleaning it off so that you consistently maintain this white purity. The Lord knows you're not as pure as the angels because you're still on earth, but you try your best, and the Lord acknowledges that. That's why he favors you, okay? These children of Satan are dressed in black. And they see your white dress or your white robe and they try to purposely throw mud at you just to get you dirty. And then when you go get clean again and you come back and they see you again, they're like, what? There's no mud, there's no stain. What's going on here? And it's because they are in black. So they just, you know how sometimes you see someone in all in white and sometimes you feel tempted to throw a mud pie at them or something. I'm just saying, that's how these people feel when they see these children of God. This is how the devil feels because he's all in black and so are his kids. And constantly every day they have to witness spiritually and physically the Lord's kids walking around in pure whiteness, white as snow, the Lord is saying. And what do dogs do on white snow, right? This is what the devil and his children of him, his devilish kids want to do to the children of God, okay? So this counterfeit is a child of the devil through and through. They are going to the pit when they go. They don't practice worshiping the Lord. If anything, they worship the devil, and the Lord has turned his back on them. So he is not blessing and favoring them on earth, and he's not blessing and favoring them when they go, okay? But because they feel like they either have received in the past or are receiving now some sort of a so-called blessing, they believe that is the devil blessing them. But the Lord is saying, no, I am so sovereign that even that comes from me. Because don't get it twisted. Remember now, when I want to speak or see Satan, I whistle to him like a dog. What do you do when you have a dog? You feed that dog. That dog can go and feed themselves, right? If that dog gets out, they can go rummage through garbage cans and feed themselves. But typically, if you have that dog in your possession, your ownership, you are feeding that dog by your own hand, right? And when you whistle, that dog comes. And you know what I'm saying? So I hope this is making sense. The Lord is correlating that the devil's like a dog and that dog has fleas. And that everything comes from God, even the devilish things, right? And that us as humans, the Lord is sovereign and so are we. We have choice every day in our own authority, our God-given authority of what choice we're going to make. But unfortunately for some, they're as doomed to the pit as their daddy is. And some of them know this and they're okay with that. Some of them know they're Cains and they're okay with being a Cain, right? And what did Cain do to Abel? He did take him out, right? And so this is the thing, is that there's the children of the devil never stop trying to take out the children of God. But the solace is the children of God are always dressed in white, and when they get us dirty or get too close, God comes and rescues us and baptizes us and cleans us and takes out all the stains and dirt that they threw at us or tried to put us in, okay? And they see this, and this is an everyday thing, the Lord is saying, everyday thing. And this is what bothers them every day. And so this counterfeit was meant to bring in jealousy, envy, bitterness, anger, frustration, sorrow, grief. That's what they were delegated to bring in. And why, you might ask, is because it was the fuel that was needed to chew on, to build these spiritual chops, these spiritual teeth for you to chew through to get to where you're at. And same with your spouse. You and your spouse would not have elevated from princes and princesses into queens or kings without this devil, aka child of the devil's dirty work. Okay, I hope this is making sense. So the Lord wanted to elevate you and this kingdom spouse, turn you into a queen and them into a king. And in order to do that, the Lord had to and whistle for the devil to come. And God said to the devil, I want you to go and bring in one of your little children, your agents, and do A, B, C, D, E over here. Why? Very same reason why God said to Satan when it came to Job. Job was a child of God. He was ascended on earth and in heaven. He was chosen and favored. And God said to Satan, what about my servant Job? I want you to sift him like wheat. Okay? Why? Because Job was better for it after the fact. And if you read the book of Job, Job went through all kinds of hardship and turmoil, but it was for his greater good after the fact, right? He had a lot, he was favored, but he was a prince. When God was done with him, when Satan was done sifting, Job became a king. You understand? In the Lord's eyes. And so this is the thing, is without the devil doing the dirty work on behalf of the Lord and working for the Lord, and without the devil having his children roaming around, there's certain things on earth, physically and spiritually, that would not get accomplished or be done if the devil hadn't slighted the Lord in the first place to get kicked out of heaven. Because even though the devil did that to thumb his nose at God, God said, I'm still so authoritative and sovereign that even you doing that, me kicking you out, you will still work for me. And you will have no choice. God has the devil as caged as the devil has his kids caged. Because they are doomed to the pit of hell. And so that is a bondage, right? So the devil is in God's bondage and the devil's kids are in the devil's bondage. And this upsets them because the devil and his kids see God's kids walking around free and clear in white. And every time they either get themselves dirty or someone else gets them dirty, they just get spiritually, supernaturally cleaned. And so they're basically, the Lord is saying, like peeing in the wind is basically what they're doing. It's just coming right back at them. And it's not changing anything. And you continue to glorify the Lord on earth. And when you do go and you get ascended to heaven, you're going to go up and glorify the Lord in heaven like the angels do, right? Because every knee must bow and tongue confess. And if your knee doesn't bow or tongue doesn't confess, you're doomed for the pit. And we always have this authority to make this decision, this free will choice, because the heaven is above my head and the hell is below my feet. And so you have the authority, chosen one, whether you realize this yet or not yourself, to trample on these demons and snakes, because they're just like a snake or a scorpion. They're below you. And all you have to do is lift your foot up a couple inches and stomp, right? And this is what they wanted to try to do to you. But here we are where you're still an Abel, a child of God, a chosen one, and they're still a Cain, a child of the devil, and they aren't chosen. All right. And so I hope this is making sense. So again, in some cases, this counterfeit is sent to elevate and to ascend and go from a donkey's ass to an oxen, like you and your spouse. But in some other cases, this counterfeit is a donkey's ass, and they'll leave this earth a donkey's ass, and they're going to be a donkey's ass in the pit of hell. And it's because they're a child of the devil. And some of them are aware of this, some of them are not. And some of them that are aware of this will purposely try to give the praises to the devil instead of God. Okay? And we know of other people that do this on earth, right? And God just wants me to let them know from him that you're not receiving anything from the devil. If you do receive anything, it's from God. Okay? And that even when you're trying to follow and salute the devil, you're theoretically, technically saluting God, because God is the one that still delegated you to do ABC, whether you realize it or not. All right? So that's how sovereign the Lord is. So anyways, I'm going to leave it here. I'll be back if the Lord leads me to with anything else. I hope this message finds you well. Take care, and God bless.